Good morning, everyone. My name is Carla, and you have reached my FlossTube video, Carla Being Crafty, where I talk about mostly cross stitch, but also other crafts and a little bit of life stuff thrown in. Today is Sunday, October 6th, and this is my 15th FlossTube video. I just want to say welcome so much to everyone who is watching today. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, thank you for stopping, and I hope you enjoy spending a little bit of time with me, and hit that like and subscribe button and help me grow my little channel. If this is not your first time, if you're one of my regular viewers, then thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate you guys more than you know. So let's get started today. Today, actually, I just want to give a little shout out, not that he watches my video, but today is my nephew Hudson's birthday. He is 5 today. I went to a little birthday party for him yesterday, and he was just so adorable. He's my youngest nephew. He has an older brother and an older sister, but he's the little guy, and he's gonna be 5, or he is 5. He's 5 today. So I'm sure he's gonna be spending the day with his new toys. His favorite thing right now is Forky from Toy Story 4, and apparently SpongeBob. He loves SpongeBob too. Things I didn't know. I got him Play-Doh because I'm a little old school. And so anyway, I'm sure he's going to be having a happy day today, and I want to wish him well. So that's just the little family stuff out of the way. I'm sure he doesn't watch the video. He's 5, but my brother watches it, so maybe he can tell him that Aunt Carla gave him a shout out. First thing before I do anything else, I want to say I was going through my my YouTube analytics last week, and I clicked on some button where it said comments that unanswered or something like that, and I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to have anything in there because I answer every comment. And you know what? There was a big list. And there was people that commented back from my first or second video. I don't know how I missed them. I don't know if they got commented on a couple weeks later. But anyway, if you have made a comment to me and I didn't at the very least put a heart on it, but mostly I comment back, I am so sorry, and that was totally an oversight, and I feel really especially bad for the people that were a month or whatever ago, and now you're thinking I don't even read them or care. I read everything, and in fact some of them I think I did actually comment, but because I was doing it either on my phone or just the method that I was doing it, I didn't hit the reply button, so it didn't go through. Because I feel really bad. So if you didn't get a reply back from me from a comment that you made, it was an oversight. Comment again. I promise I will. Now I know that is an issue. I'll be a little bit more aware of it. And part of the reason that I started doing FlossTube was to connect with the people in the community, local or not local people, and so the comments and the dialogue and stuff that I have with you guys is really important to me. So yeah, so please don't be discouraged or feel like I neglected you if I didn't answer a comment. I meant to. It was just an oversight, so please don't stop commenting. Okay, so let's see. Let me get into projects today. I worked on actually several projects this week. I did actually even have a new start. Since we are in October, people are doing the dark October stitching and stuff like that, and I'm not necessarily doing that, on purpose, but I am I've pulled out my one sort of Halloween project, and then I started this for my stepdaughter, who, by the way, actually might be stopping by in the middle of this video. I don't know. I think she's coming over today, and I don't know what time she's going to get here. So if she comes, I told her if she comes while I'm doing video, then she can just walk past and say hi and go sit down, and I'll finish. So I'm not necessarily doing Dark October stitching, but I did pull out my All Hallows Eve, and then this one is kind of pretty dark. So this is the one that I'm doing for Taylor, and it's this. I'm doing it again. I'm holding stuff upside down. I'm not a social butterfly. And so I did start that. And I'm using this really pretty variegated floss, and when I first started doing it, I was like, oh gosh, is it not gonna show up on the fabric, which I also love. Here, I'll fold it. So here, it doesn't show up great, but I think that as soon as you put that back stitching in with the black, it just looks gorgeous. So this is gonna be a pretty quick stitch. I think I should get it. Well, her birthday's in December, so it'll definitely be done for her birthday, and she knows I'm doing it, so she's here when I started it. She approved the colors. Okay. Alright, so on to whips. I did get some done on my In This House project that I am doing for my brother Aaron and his family. And I brought it with me yesterday just so they could kind of see it in real life. Because, you know, as I said, he watches my videos, but it just doesn't look as beautiful. I have the hoop on it because I took this with me. As I said, I took it with me yesterday, and we were at like an indoor play park for kids. Kind of crazy place. It's called Jumpin' Jammin'. I think there's a couple of them in California. I don't know if there are anyplace else, but I did actually get a few stitches in while I was sitting there watching the kids play. But, oh, it's like super wrinkled now because it was in the hoop. And I didn't get to smooth it. But I got a bunch more done on the oranges down at the bottom. So this is coming along. I only worked on this a little bit this week because, as I said, I have a little bit more of an extended deadline, I guess, on it because I just want to have it done by Thanksgiving. So I can work a little bit more on other projects this month. Okay. This is November in Hands-On Design, Year of Celebrations. So I got a bit more done on that. I got the bless done. I started filling in the white on that and did part of the N. So I am very confident I will get this done in plenty of time to be able to display it. And that is where the October is right now. So I got that one hung up. And then, as I said, I worked on Glendon Place's All Hallows Eve. So last time you guys saw this, which was quite a while ago, the witch was done, the two top lines of stitching and the moon and everything, and then I just gotten kind of like the bottom of the werewolf done. Just like I think his one leg was done and the other one wasn't. So I worked on him this week, and so he's done except for the White Whisper, or yeah, it's White Whisper in his face. So this is Whisper right here, which is not easy to work with. I know you're only supposed to use one thread, and I started it with the one thread and it didn't look right. So then I started with two threads, which looked better, but that's really hard to work with. So but yeah, I'm gonna finish his face. The stitches that are like right around his mouth and stuff I did with regular floss, so I'm only making like his cheek and then his chest is furry. But I love this piece. I start working on it and I'm like, oh, it makes me happy. So when I finish him, which will probably only take me one stitching session, maybe I'll finish him today. Then I think the next thing I'm going to work on is the snake, because the snake goes right. Sorry, the snake goes right here. So he's like the next not logical thing. So I can work on him and then do the 2 lines of writing near him. And then I don't know if I'll do this Igor guy first or the Belfry, but that's my plans. So you'll probably see some of that done next week. Okay, and then the last 2 things I worked on were my my 2 Heaven and Earth design pieces. And I did an extra, oh, oops, is that it? I did a little extra video this week on my methods. Okay. My methods for storing my flosses for full coverage. And I mentioned in that video, which I mentioned before, that I was thinking about doing a kind of a little demo video, not a tutorial, but more of a demo video on how I do my diagonal stitching and parking. And it seems like a lot of people would like to see that. So I definitely will be working on that. It's going to be a little bit more of an involved video on my end, just because I'm going to have to do it in segments and then smush them all together and stuff. And I need to make sure that I can get the camera to where you can actually see the stitching. So yeah, so in the next couple of weeks I'll be coming out with that. But this is my lavender roses, and I just did a tiny little bit on this yesterday before I left the party. I just did like 50 stitches. So just this little bit up here, I started another diagonal. And I kind of need to work on this. If I'm going to do it in any kind of demo video, I need to get into the stitches down here that are a little bit darker, because I just don't think you guys are going to be able to see anything where they're all, you know, 5 shades of beige, which is what it is right up here. But it should get down, actually, in this diagonal, I'm going to hit the inner corner of the second eye, so there's going to be a lot of black right there. And then it'll actually go into the green a little bit, I think. But that is that one. And then the last project that I worked on was the Catnap Fae. That is not the picture. Ooh. I'm trying to be more organized with this extra table, and I don't know if I actually am. Okay. So that's the Catnap Fae, and I finished another diagonal. So yeah, so I got up to the curve of her hair. So right in there is where we are. And one thing I will say, at least about the 2 quick stitches that I'm doing, because I have said to people in messages and stuff talking about Heaven Earth designs that I recommend, if you are interested in doing one, but you know, are on the fence, do what I did and pick a quick stitch, because the difference between a quick stitch, this is what I think, I could be wrong, but from my take, a quick stitch is just as complex as a full-size Heaven and Earth. The only difference is the picture is just smaller. It's like 100 to 200 stitches per side, as opposed to 500 to 600 stitches per side or more, which is what most of the ones that I've personally looked at. However, you are going to get the full experience, because let me tell you, this is so confetti heavy that, you know, and looking at the Village Bookstore, which I'll talk about in a minute, which is full-size Haid, that one is actually, at least in the backgroundy area, is a lot less complex and a lot less confetti heavy, because there's so much like background colors. So there's maybe 2 or 3 colors and you're using those a lot. Whereas with the quick stitches, you know, you're getting into it right away. I mean, so it does take a long time to do the quick stitches. You know, it's just that it's going to take you less time because there's less overall stitches, if that makes sense. But I really like the quick stitches. The ones I've picked are beautiful, and I have more of this artist. I have 2 more that I've actually purchased already. 1 more that I still want to purchase. So I want to do them all, so I'm sure that these, I will be working on a fae of some kind for a while. And they all have cats, or at least the ones I picked all have a cat with them. I'm turning into more and more of a cat lady, and I actually love dogs. It's just that when I lost Frodo, I kind of realized that I probably, unless my circumstances, my life circumstances change a lot, I'm not going to get another dog in my life anytime in the near future. I don't have the financial resources. I don't have the physical layout for a dog. I can't easily walk them anymore. I live upstairs, so taking a dog up and down stairs is difficult. So there's all kinds of reasons that a dog is probably not going to be in my future, but I do have a cat. I intend to always at least have one, and I do love cats. I guess the thing with between cats and dogs, as far as like symbols and stitching or whatever, is there's so many different varieties of dog that, you know, you don't tend to be like just a dog person. You tend to be like, oh, I love corgis, or I love Dalmatians, or I love Papillons, or whatever. Whereas cats is a little bit more generic. I mean, you can say I like marmalades, or I like tortoiseshells, or I like black cats, but cats are a little bit more generic, I guess. So it's easier to be like, oh, I like stitching anything with cats on it, and then you don't have to be quite as specific. Although I tend to like black cats, because I've always liked black and white animals anyway. Okay, so next on the list. So I showed you all my Haids. I showed you all my whips, including my 2 Haids. And that kind of brings me to my discussion of the Village Bookstore, which I mentioned in my last video that I was debating whether or not to start it, and the overwhelming consensus, everybody who made a comment was like, start it, you know, it's beautiful, you love it, you'll have fun doing it, who cares how long it takes. And I have to admit that, yeah, I agree with you guys. I should just go ahead and do it, because really my only drawback to it was the fact that it was going to take forever, and do I want to start something that doesn't have an end in sight? But I think, yeah, I do. So this is my plan. Oh, and this is the picture of the Village Bookstore. Now, I took these pictures off of Randall Spangler's website, only because, like the Heaven Earth Designs, you can't make the picture big enough to print, and on Randall Spangler's website you can, so I could get like a full-size picture of it. So I mean, it's the same picture, but you know, I don't know if the detail when it's converted is slightly different. But this is the Village Bookstore, and then I thought this was fun because I mentioned all the cats, right? So this, all the red circles are all the cats, except for this one, which is a dragling. And then this one right here, I'm not sure if that's a cat or like a super large squirrel. But there's like 15 or 14 if that's a squirrel. And so some of them are like obvious, obviously these ones sitting out here on the lawn and stuff, but some of them are kind of hidden. Like there's a shadow of one that's like on a branch of the tree in the background here. There's one that's kind of like peeking around the corner there. And I love that. And I think as I stitch, it's going to be fun to come across those guys. Although it's going to take a while because I'm going to be starting in the left corner. Yeah, so I'll be starting up here, and it's going to take a while to, you know, hit the first cat. But anyway, so my plan for this is to actually start it on January 1st. So New Year, new start kind of thing. And I think I'm actually going to do it at midnight. I'm going to start it at midnight. Even if I just put in one stitch, I'm going to start it at midnight as my New Year thing. And so that's going to be my start for it. And then my other plan, I started stitching in March of this year. So one of the things when I first started stitching and was first watching FlossTube was people talking about mania. And of course it was fun to watch everybody, you know, do this stuff, but I didn't really participate in mania because I was just getting started on what I was doing anyway. But I thought about it, and I am doing fairly regularly, I'm doing new starts every month anyway. You know, and I have this kind of, I start stuff, I'm finishing stuff, I'm enjoying that pattern that I've established. And I don't think that I really want to do a ton of starts in May. I don't want to have a bunch of like whips that I haven't touched in like a year or months or whatever. That's not gonna be in my comfort zone. And I know part of mania is to do something that's like outside your comfort zone. But what I've decided I'm going to do for mania is it's going to be a full coverage mania for me. So I'm going to be working exclusively on this in May. I mean, I'm assuming I will have worked on it up through May, from January through May as well. But I'm going to work on this exclusively, along with, if I have not finished my quick stitch heids, I'll throw those in as well and work on them. And if I start a new one for some reason before then that one can be included as well. But so my mania is going to be a full coverage mania, and then all my other projects can just set aside, except for I guess I'll have to work on my June one before that, because if I'm not working on it in May, but for my year of celebrations. But I'll get that done at some point. And that's going to be what my May is. It's going to be a full coverage May. So I can get like a super big chunk of this done, which probably means like to hear. But no, I can get a big chunk of this done, so I don't feel like I have a full coverage piece that, you know, just has a teeny little bit. And I think that will be good. And actually going forward, maybe that's what I'll do every, you know, mania, is I'll do full coverage, and I'll know that every one month out of every year, there's going to be, you know, 30 days, 31 days in May? Yeah. Yes, 31 days dedicated to the full coverage. And so I'll get big chunks done. And so that actually makes me feel really good. The companion piece to this is the Rose Trellis In, which I also really love. This one's actually a little bit smaller. And when I was looking at them both, the reason I decided on the Village Bookstore first was because of the cats, honestly. I kind of want to do this one because it's the pinks instead of the purples, and I'm already working with so many purples on the Lavender Roses project, but the cats did it for me. I had to do that one. This one, I think there's maybe 1 or 2 cats, but it also has a unicorn. So this one's really beautiful too. So who knows when that one will get started. Somebody said I should start them both at the same time and then just alternate, but I think that might be a little bit much for me. One other thing that I wanted to tell you guys, so you know that I do other crafts too. I mean, right now, the last 6 months or so, I'm pretty much exclusively doing cross stitching. Even the diamond painting I haven't touched in a long time, and I feel bad, but I don't want to not do the cross stitch, so it's kind of taken over a little bit. But I've done beading and jewelry making and all kinds of things in the past, and I actually made this pendant, so I thought I would wear it and show you guys at a time when I was dabbling in jewelry making. So I bought this cabochon at a bead store, and this wire is 14 karat gold wire, and I don't know if I twisted it or if it was already twisted. I can't really remember. And then I just made the bezel for the cabochon and the bail and everything. I think it's really pretty. I have one more cabochon somewhere, but I just this was the only one I did like this, and so that satisfied the urge to try that wire twisting or whatever, and then I was done with it. Okay. So next we go on to haul and stitchy kindness and that kind of stuff. I don't have a lot of haul this week. In fact, I'll show you the haul after I show you the stitchy kindness because it kind of goes along with it. Before that, I just wanted to show you what I did on my DMC. This is a DMC color chart that I got from Amazon. I actually got this when I was doing diamond painting because I was I have like boxes and little jars of extra drills, diamond painting drills, which honestly I don't know why I started keeping them when I was started doing diamond painting and was watching all these diamond painting videos. For some reason, a lot of people like wanted to keep them and store them, and you know, and would buy full sets so that they had. And so I started storing them. And now I'm like, why? They're just taking up space and I don't need them. Anyway, if any of you guys do diamond painting and would like my extra drills, and like I said, I have boxes, well, little boxes, but I have a lot of them. Let me know and, you know, I'll send them to you. I just have to figure out, you know, how much it would be for shipping and stuff, but I don't need them, and I don't feel like I want to throw them away because, I don't know, I'm thinking I might put them inside some kind of jar, like almost like a sand art thing, but as some kind of decor. But I'm getting to the point where it's like I think I could use that space more effectively for myself with the other things I'm doing now, and I don't really need all these extra drills. But I did get this at the time because of the drills, and but then when I started stitching, it came in really handy. And what I've actually done is I have marked it so that I know what colors of DMC I have. So I went through all of my DMC and I put a dot next to it if I have that color, and then I went through and I marked the actual color chart too, which I think is really helpful. So I don't know if anybody else does this, or if you haven't done it and haven't thought about doing it, it's a good idea. And this I think was like $6. It's really not that expensive. I know it's not like the big fancy one where you actually have the floss in there, but it still is helpful, especially if you have some like no-name floss or mystery floss and you just want to match it to a color that you don't have to use in a project. So I use this all the time. Okay, so on to Stitchy Kindness. I got a package this week from my friend Tracy. We all know about Tracy. I talk about her all the time. And I knew she was doing this, but she, as I told you, moved to Pittsburgh, and she happens to be like, she said it's like a 5-minute walk or a 6-minute walk away from a store. I don't know if it's a thrift store. I don't know. It's called the Center for Creative Reuse. And I know that the Steel City Stitchers, who also live in Pittsburgh, I don't know exactly where they actually live, but they have talked about this store. And in fact, I mentioned it to Tracy, and then she's like, wait a minute, it's like really close to me. So she stopped in there the other day, last week, to have a look around, and she, you know, went over to the stitchy stuff, and she was like sending me pictures going, you know, can you use this? Can you use this? And I was like, yeah, I use that. That's great fabric. That's, you know. So she went around the store and basically looking at all the stitchy stuff, and she does not stitch. So let me emphasize that she is not a cross stitcher, but she, you know, is supportive of me, and she's excited of me doing this hobby. So, you know, she did find some stuff for herself, but she was looking for stuff for me, and actually, and my mom, it turned out. But yeah, so then she bought a bunch of stuff, and she put it in a package, and I got it last Thursday, and so that's what I'm going to show you. And so I got a towel with the stitch band on it, and it was funny because I was actually looking online the day before I got this package, and I was thinking, you know, I should get a towel. So I have a towel. She found this full kit, which is just adorable with the dogs. I don't know when I'm going to start this, but I know it's something that Taylor would like. And this dog, although Frodo was black and this one's brown. That looks a lot like my photo. But I mean, this is really a cute, I mean, yes, it's from the 80s. It's Susie Zoo. It's one of the cutesy kind of things, but it happens to be a really cute one. Then she got, oh no. She got some flosses. And again, it was funny because after I got the package and I was texting with her, so I gave her a little bit of a lesson about flosses because she didn't know that, like, there was a difference between pearl and 6-strand and that kind of thing. So we talked about that. But she got, these were like something like 25 cents or it was $5 for $1, I guess. So she got some, and there's actually 4 DMCs in here, and of those 4, 3 of them I don't have, so that's really cool because it just adds to my collection. And then there's a couple of like really, you know, nice skeins of the other brands like Coates and Clark and stuff like that, which I do use when I'm kitting out my projects. And then this one, this is a stranded, I don't know, it's like a satin, so it's kind of like a specialty. It's actually really pretty, so I'm sure I'll find something for that. And then she got these really, not that one. She got 2 pearl cotton variegated ones, which are really pretty. They're the DMC variegations. And I'm going to give these to my mom because my mom is still stitching like crazy. She's just enjoying the heck out of it, and she's using pearl cotton exclusively because it's easier for her. She doesn't have to take the strands apart, and since she's using such large count fabric, small count fabric, she's using 11 count Aida right now. She doubles the pearl cotton, and that works really well for her. So I'm going to give her those 2 pearl cotton strands. Then the rest of what she sent me, see this huge bag? This is all fabric. And so this is 11 count Aida, so that's going to go to my mom. Then she found this really pretty, this is Tula, which is like a 10 count. It's not exactly Aida, but it's like an Aida. And it's got this gold metallic thread in it, so that will go to my mom as well. Then there was a bag that just was like full of basically scrap stuff, but I mean, when we talk about scrap, they're big pieces. I mean, some of them have pieces cut out of them or whatever, but I think actually this is 11 count as well, so we'll give that to my mom. But so there's that. Then 18 count has a piece cut out of it, but who cares? You know, it's good for little stuff. There was a piece of this waist canvas. It's actually a pretty decent sized thing, and I'm thinking of doing something on the lapels of a jacket. I've never used this before, but I'm really glad that I got a piece of it, so it's something that I can try. And then, these 2 corner things. So these are kind of like bookmarks, but they're corner bookmarks. So those are really neat. And I think actually one of them I will probably make for my mom because she reads a lot, and she reads actual books, whereas I read more electronic books, and so does Tracy. But I asked Tracy, and she goes, actually she could use one for her cookbooks because she uses those in the kitchen. So one of these I'm going to stitch back for Tracy and send it back to her with something kitchen-y related. I don't know, maybe fruits or veggies or something like that. So then there's a piece of this even weave. Does it say, oh no, it doesn't say what count it is, but it's interesting. It's got like a design in the fabric, and then there's like this space in the middle, so it's kind of like it frames itself. So it's kind of a cool thing. And you know, and you could probably also actually just stitch on this, because there's a lot of stuff that they're doing now, you know, on printed fabric. So that's kind of a very cool thing. And more Aida. I'm excited about these two pieces. This is Hardinger, so it's actually 22 count Aida. So I've been wanting to try, you know, higher count things. That looks pretty tiny. And then, yeah, some more Aida 14 count, and it's more the natural, the raw sort of looking stuff. So that, I mean, that just brightened my day so much to get all of that fabric. And part of, well, I'll tell you when I get to haul. Well, I'm at haul. So the only thing that I have that was haul actually for myself that is actual stitch stuff is I got some more floss from Queen City Dyer. So some more overdyed floss. And they don't have names or anything, but they're so pretty. And I'm loving using these overdyed. Just pulling colors together. Especially like with the hands-on design, it has color and cotton and weeks and stuff, and I don't have those. And but I have other things that I can use, and I just really enjoy doing that. So back to the Aida, one of the things that I really have been wanting to try is dyeing fabric. So now I have all of this, you know, smaller pieces, scrap pieces of Aida that I can experiment with. So basically the haul that I got, I bought some dyes, some RIT dyes. There's a couple that I don't have yet. I got a purple, and that one's not here yet, and I got a lemon yellow, and that one's not here yet. But I got wine, tangerine, teal, and denim blue. And then, as I said, purple and yellow. Why did I get these colors? Because when I went on Amazon, these were the ones that were $2.90 instead of $6 or $8. So I went through the list of all the colors, and I got the ones that were least expensive. And I figured I could do something with them. There was like an emerald and a navy and an indigo. I didn't get the really dark colors. So I've seen a couple different videos. I was watching different videos on dyeing methods. I'm going to try the jar method. And I think I have to wait until the yellow comes because I'm going to use that first. And then I'm going to try maybe putting some orange and some wine with that and see what happens. And then, you know, and then I'll work on like the blues and purples together too. So I'm really excited to try that, and if they turn out, well, even if they turn out ugly, I'll show them to you, and I'll just say that they turned out ugly. But if they turned out pretty, that's great, you know? I mean, I'm always interested to try new things, and the dyeing just, it looks kind of fun, and so, and especially in the jar method, which just seems like it's very little mess, you know, because basically you just mix some stuff up and put the water in the jar, and then you take the jar out, rinse the fabric, and, you know, that's it. Yeah, so I'm really excited to try that, and if I get the yellow today, then I might do some this afternoon and see what happens. So I'm really just so excited that I got all of this stuff from Tracy. That was just so sweet of her to send that to me. I will put the website, she sent it to me, the website for the Center for Creative Reuse, so you can take a look at it. I mean, it's not like you can't order stuff from there, but you can donate and whatever. And but yeah, I wish there was something like that around here. I mean, the prices, she said that she bought herself several things too, and then all the stuff that she got for me, you know, she spent like, you know, $24, I think she said, on everything. So you can see, like, the most expensive thing was this kit, which I'm sure new was in the $20 range to $30 range, and it has a price on it for $6. So, and all of the flosses are in it. Yeah, so I mean, this is just, it's cute. I think it's really cute. I don't know when I'm gonna start it, but I'm I definitely like it. So that's something that that I'm happy to have. And then all this fabric is just, I love having the raw materials, you know, the fabrics and the flosses that are just like so much potential. But yeah, I think that that is it for me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. You know, have fun stitching, have fun with hopefully the weather cooling off and getting more fall-y. And you know, if you go to pumpkin patches, then do that. Roast those pumpkin seeds. That's my favorite part of the pumpkins. Also, if you guys have any recipes for Thanksgiving type desserts that are gluten-free and dairy-free. Those are the restrictions that I have because my niece has some food issues. So I've been trying to, you know, figure out some dessert options, and I do have some stuff in mind, but one of the problems is when I go and look up that kind of thing online, because they're from websites that are people that are very that eat specific ways. It's like they get into all these weird like sugar substitutes and oh, it all has to be natural this and natural that. And you know, I'm not so worried about not using sugar or maple or honey. You know, I just want to not have to have the gluten and not have to have dairy. I know I can usually substitute coconut milk for regular milk in a lot of recipes to make it non-dairy. I would love it if I could find a brand of gluten-free graham crackers that don't have milk in them. I did see one, but then it had milk in it. So anyway, if you guys have any suggestions for that kind of thing, there's lots of desserts I can make that, like I'm going to probably make meringue cookies, something like that, because they're yummy, but they're not super Thanksgiving-y, and I would like to do something that is a little bit pumpkin related. I can make a regular pumpkin pie for everybody else. That's not a problem. And I'm sure whatever I make for her, she would enjoy, but I would like it to still be good tasting so that other people could eat it if they want to. If you have any ideas on that, then please let me know, and I would appreciate it. So anyway, in the meantime, you guys have a great week. I will work on doing that demo video for the diagonal stitching, and I don't know when I'm going to get that up, but it'll be, you know, sooner rather than later. And please remember to always be content, be kind, and be crafty. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.